country.
Well, what I did this in upstate New York because I'm from New York City. So I went to Oneonta. I went to
Oneonta Chiefs.
I went to Syracuse, Binghamton, Utica. Had 2 stations back in the mid-'90s when I went there. And there was a television station that was just starting up in the Albany, Schenectady, Troy area, 24/7, all Albany, Schenectady, Troy
And they all
news
told
hour.
you no.
Well, a few of them told me come back. One of them wouldn't see me. It was in the Binghamton station. They wouldn't even see me. But a lot of these news directors just let's say, come on in. And then the one in Albany, Schenectady, Troy. Okay, I sent a tape. I sent a tape to him, and I just decided I'm going. And I went and I got the letter that I got back from them saying we have your tape. And I looked at the address and I just started going, and couldn't find the place. Stopped in a gas station, asked for directions, got the directions, and as I'm nearing the address, I'm no longer in a business neighborhood. I'm in a flat-out residential area, and the address is a home. This is for like the upstate New York cable news or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I go and I knock on the door, and there I am in my suit and tie on somebody's front freaking porch. I am 24 years old.
This is amazing.
And I knock on the door.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Knock on the door, and some woman answers the door, and I'm like,
Were you good? Oh, hold on. Do you know in your heart, when you were knocking on that door, did you know you were good at it?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's great.
No question.
I love that.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
You're selling Cadillacs.
I was ready.
You want a Cadillac?
I was
can
ready
sell you
for this.
I got Cadillacs.
Correct. I got
Okay.
Cadillacs.
I
Exactly.
got you. Love it.
I knew it. I knew
Love
it.
it.
I felt it in my heart of hearts. So I walk there, and plus I just had 3 years of newspaper experience.
Right.
And so I knew what to deal with community members. I knew how to talk to people, and know what makes a community tick. So anyway, I knock on the door, and I'm like, is this the whatever the hell cable news channel? Like, yeah, but we haven't really started up yet. And I'm like, well, I'm here, and I'd love to talk to whoever's in charge about being your sports guy. And she goes, I guess come on in. And I walk in, I'm on somebody's freaking living room. And I say, what can I see the boss? And she says, he's indisposed. And sure enough, like all in the family, a flush of the toilet comes from upstairs. Guy comes walking down.
And he grabs the mints out of the bowl.
It would serve me right. Yes. So he comes down from upstairs, and she walks around the corner. I could hear in hushed tones saying, the so-and-so is here. Richard Eisen is here, and he would like to speak to you about the sports job. And he goes, I don't have any time for this shit. Comes right around. He says, I don't take walk-ins, kid, and shuts the door.
Nice.
And I'm now standing with my what in my hands, like what in the hell just hit me? I felt like saying, you don't take walk-ins. Like, what's more enterprising? I found you in your house. Like, what to me could not be more showing off my skills as a journalist. I found your ass.
That must have been a runny
dump.
Were
taking
he
a
did
dump.
Not enjoy himself.
You were taking a dump.
Not a good one, apparently.
And the funny thing is a few years later, I was sitting on the Sports Center set for the launch of ESPN News. They brought in a whole bunch of media reporters from around the country to sit next to Sports Center anchors and do a mock show to see what we do and how we do it and put them through the paces. And I sat next to somebody and I introduced myself. I'm like, what paper do you write for? He said, the Albany Times-Union. I'm like, great. Do you have an all-news 24/7 channel up there? He goes, no. I'm like, did you ever hear of one starting up? He goes, no, never did. So I got out of that guy's living room, but he didn't get out of his living room. And it's like one of the greatest freaking I'm like, great. I hope that guy gets cancer, right?
Cancer you should get, Jerry.
From King of Comedy, one of the greatest times.
Who wins a fight at the NFL Network? Warren Sapp or any other 2 guys of your choosing?
Warren Sapp.
What other 2 guys would you pick to make it close?
Well, can I choose? Do I choose regular staffers? Or can I choose like Willie McGinnis, Jamie Dukes? I mean, seriously. Now we're talking
Willie
about
McGinnis
do we
and
open
Jamie
it up?
Dukes versus 6 beers in Warren Sapp.
I mean, I'll take Willie and Jamie. Yeah.
Jamie Dukes can throw?
Well, Jamie's a big man.
He's a nice guy, man.
He's a great
Everyone
dude.
over there. I will say this.
Everybody's great there. Seriously.
It is absurd.
Everybody's great
Bardia,
there.
my main man.
He's awesome.
Eric Weinberger, who looks exactly like Coach Calipari.
Yes, he does. I got a Coach Callan.
Everybody.
Everybody
Puma,
says
the
great.
stage manager,
Everybody
who
loves
was
you
my
too.
stage manager
I know.
at Mohr
When you came back in, it
Sports.
was like Norm walking into Cheers.
Norm.
It was
I thought
great.
you meant Norm McDonald.
That's
Oh,
a-
my God. Everybody knows my name here, Rich Eisen of the NFL Network Yeah, you're got a new show coming out on TNT called The Great Escape,
Yes,
which
I do.
is something I'm angry I didn't think of on my own.
It's incredible.
It's such a great idea.
Yeah, and it's basic. It's the producers of The Amazing Race. They win the
Emmy
Emmy
Award
every,
winner.
yeah,
They
all the
beat
time.
Last Comic Standing.
They win every year.
I sat there at the Emmys like the, did you ever, hold on,
Yeah.
to go back to Reading, did you
Mm.
ever get nominated for a local Emmy?
I don't think they
It's a
had them up
weird
there.
thing when you go around the
But
country.
anyway, just to finish up this story, is that my friend did the road tripping in her native
Oh, yeah,
Northern
we never finished
California. She did her road tripping. She got a job in Reading and told the news director, there's a sports guy, 'cause she's a friend of mine that we went to Northwestern together. I actually spoke to her earlier today. And she told the news director, you got to hire this guy. And he had no desire to hire me whatsoever. I finally called him up and finally got through. He goes, I don't need somebody with a master's degree. I need somebody who's going to go out in the middle of nowhere and go and shoot this stuff and put it together. And I'm like, I can do that. I'm like, I'll send you all my news clips from the Staten Island events. I know exactly what it needs to be in a community and what it needs to be a grassroots guy. He goes, I'll tell you what, if the job is still open at the Radio and Television News Directors Association convention in 3 weeks, I'll see you. It's in Los Angeles. If you make your way out there, I'll see you. So I found out, why is he going to this convention? He's interviewing Marilu Henner because her new talk show has been syndication. It's been picked up by their station. It's an ABC affiliate. So he's going to go interview her.
Mary Lou Henner of Taxi.
That's correct.
And nothing else.
Well, she was in. I forget what she was in.
Yeah,
Anyway,
exactly.
whatever. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So anyway, so this job is still open, and I go ahead and I go ahead and I interview for it, and sure enough, he says you got to fly up to Reading now and do an audition. So I do that.
Reading International Airport.
And I basically got to fly through San Francisco. I go up there and I interview for it. And I found out subsequently the reason why I got the job is he was trying to hire the number 3 guy from the CBS station based in Chico. He wanted to raid his competition, but this news station had a fleet of white Ford Escorts with the station logo emblazoned on the side, so you knew who was on the scene whenever it showed up.
Hell yeah.
And
we got fake mustache cars everywhere.
There you go. It's a genius idea.
Yeah.
The guy from Chico had 2 outstanding speeding tickets and was thus deemed by the insurance unhireable. My driving record was clean.
Like your conscience.
I got hired. And so when people say, how do you get in the business? I say, just be yourself and stop at every stop sign and drive the speed limit. Because you just never freaking know. And that's how I got my job.
You
in
really
Redding,
just
California.
never took no for an answer.
No, I never. You can't. You just really can't. So I got from there got another live read?
Whether you're running a business, working from home, or selling items through online sites, going to the post office to send out your letters and packages is a waste of time. Use Stamps.com instead. You will never have to go to the post office again, no matter what you're sending, ever. With Stamps.com, you can buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter, any package, using your own computer and printer. Stamps.com will give you a free digital scale that calculates the exact postage you need. There is no guesswork. Right now, Stamps.com has a special offer for my listeners. Use my last name, Mohr, M-O-H-R, for a no-risk trial. $110 bonus offer includes a digital scale and up to $55 free postage. Free stuff. Yay! Don't wait. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else. Click on the radio microphone at the top of the home page and type in MOHR. That's Stamps.com. Enter more. Do it. Your new show on TNT is The Great Escape.
Yes, sir.
This is amazing. You drop people. Go ahead.
It's the people who produce The Amazing Race and created and produced The Amazing Race.
Who cares? Tell us about the show.
I'm just giving you the setup.
No one cares about them.
Okay. It gives you an idea of, instead of it being a season-long race around the world, it's every Sunday night on TNT at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, a race to escape the most incredible, unique locations, 3 teams of 2, and the first
Are
one
all the teams in the same location?
they're all in the same location.
And
they're
they
locked
take turns?
inside. No, they're locked inside, and there's 3 different ways to get out, and they have to find it. And the tasks that they go through are
Give us an example of a play, like bottom of a well.
Alcatraz prison.
Get out of Alcatraz?
Yes, sir.
And do you have
They're
like a boat?
all 3 of them start locked in a cell.
Oh
and
my
they all
God!
3
I
have,
wish I was on this
that's
show.
where they
Forget
start.
hosting it.
And that's the idea is that I think when
I
people
would
see
just
this,
swim.
I think when people see this, they will say, "I want to do that."
Yeah.
And the
Celebrity
and the folks at
Great
TNT,
Escape.
the
I'm
folks,
in. Right
bro,
now. Celebrity Great Escape. I'm in.
You're first on the list
I'll tell you one thing.
because you're the only one on the
Like
list right now.
Buster
I mean,
Crab.
it hasn't even started.
Like Buster Crab.
Crab.
I'm swimming right off the rock. I know the currents. And
Look
if a
out.
shark comes up, you know how you get rid of a shark?
No.
Masturbate immediately. The second you see the shark,
I don't
start
know if
masturbating.
TNT's going to like that though.
They don't. You just cut around it, Rich. But sharks get freaked out when you just
They
start
have editing
hammering
equipment.
yourself.
Sure. So, and it basically, seriously, it's like a blockbuster movie every Sunday night. The production value, I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. The first one is Alcatraz. The second one is the USS Hornet, which is an aircraft carrier that used to pluck the astronaut capsules out of the water.
Yeah.
Like Neil Armstrong's footprints are painted in white on the deck of the USS Hornet.
They got Gus Grissom out, and then Gus Grissom took a lot of shit because he let the capsule sink.
Did
He
he
thought
screw
was
the
gonna
pooch?
drown.
He screwed the pooch, right?
He didn't. He was gonna fucking die, and they broke his
I saw
balls
that.
so
I
hard.
saw that. I saw that in the movies. I know.
That poor guy.
I know.
Like you're in a capsule
I
filled
know.
with water.
Tom Wolfe wrote all about it. Great stuff.
So how is
The
do you have
right
to get,
stuff.
Do you have
Hey,
to
now.
get? There you go.
Hey.
Do you have to get off the aircraft carrier?
Yes, sir. It's incredible. I've
Can't
never
you
seen
just-
anything like it.
And go where?
Well, I mean, I don't want to give it away, but that's
okay.
Get
off the aircraft carrier and
each,
go to
each team essentially has what's called a Great Escape route map. It's mapped out for them to go from stage to stage to stage. They got to put together pieces of the Great Escape key, which reveals my location, and then they find me, and
I could win this.
They
What's
win
the prize?
cash.
It's money
They
prize.
win money. Yeah, cash money. Cash money.
On Last Comic Standing, the prize was like, and you get a holding deal with Comedy Central.
No.
It's like,
You
really?
get cash money.
Guy Fieri's giving
And
out
it's-
$1 million for juggling fucking paper plates on your nose.
There's a winner and 2 losers every Sunday night. It doesn't. In the next week, it's a different location, completely different people playing it.
Is there any possibility of that winner going to escape from another place after that?
I don't know. I don't know what their producers
And
have in mind.
Can I pick my teammate?
Because
Because I'm going Navy SEAL.
Yeah, you could totally.
I'm
do
going
that.
Navy SEAL.
You could totally do that.
So make sure you watch The Great Escape
Yes, please. Thank you.
on TNT, hosted by our friend Rich Eisen, host of the Rich Eisen podcast. And now, Rich,
Uh-oh.
I have
do not
you
have it. Oh no.
as Howard Cosell. We will leave you, ladies and gentlemen, with Rich Eisen reading a penthouse letter
Hold on a minute. Hold
as
on.
Howard Cosell. You don't have to read the whole thing. Just get a paragraph.
Okay. What the hell? I can't. There's some of the stuff that I cannot
Just read the first part because it won't
Okay.
get dirty to the end.
Here we go.
Wait, time out. This is what you closed with in
I
your
closed
act.
this. This was
Did
the
you bring the
showstopper.
letters on stage with you?
I brought the whole magazine on with me.
So now you're playing like
And my
Mr.
fraternity
Bashful
brothers
time.
loved it. They're like, "You done with that?"
So I'm your
Professor?
fraternity brother.
Okay, here we go. It's it's called "He Was a Retired Plumber, but He Still Cleaned a Lot of Pipes." A month ago, I found a leaky pipe in my bathroom. As my husband was away, I called in Cal, a retired plumber who lives in our neighborhood and still does odd jobs. He's a nice fellow, and I always liked him. When he showed up, I wasn't exactly formally dressed, so on and so forth.
Do 2 sentences.
And then it didn't matter however it ended. I would always end it with, "I nearly shot my love." That would always be the finish. Now I need another job, Jay.
No,
Good
you
Lord.
don't.
I can't. I honestly cannot read the rest.
I
of
won't
this.
make you.
But that's essentially the
But it's
setup.
really you. This is how far you've come as a journalist.
Yes, I have evolved.
I mean,
I've clearly evolved to
you
the
are
point
a
where I'm now in
news
a
anchor.
garage in the Palisades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the #2 podcast in the world,
God bless you.
Adam Carolla, bless his heart.
Yeah.
I don't think he could ever be toppled.
Well, he's.
We're all
The
playing
best.
for #2.
Well, hey, listen.
Rich Eisen, I've said it on this podcast to
Yes.
people, you could step in and replace Matt Lauer right now. I really think, without a doubt, Harry, what's his name? Harry Smith?
Well, he's
On
been
CBS?
He's been replaced.
Oh, well,
Yeah, Charlie Rose is on there now.
let me finish. Harry Smith.
Yeah. You're
You
too
are
kind, JJ. You're
no,
too
I'm
kind.
serious. You're super natural. You're very easy. You're real easy. You're just easy to listen to and
Thanks.
go. And if anybody out there is not a giant football fan, check out Rich Eisen's podcast. It's called the Rich Eisen Podcast. Eisen.
Yeah,
Eisen.
just plug it in on iTunes. You get everything. So
What if I don't like iTunes? How do I? If you can't fucking figure it out, I can't. I get that tweet country.
Well, what I did this in upstate New York because I'm from New York City. So I
Okay.
went to Oneonta. I went to
Oneonta Chiefs.
I went to Syracuse, Binghamton, Utica. Had 2 stations back in the mid '90s when I went there, and there was a television station that was just starting up. Couldn't find the place. Stopped in a gas station, asked for directions, got the directions, and as I'm nearing the address, I'm no longer in a business neighborhood. I'm in a flat out residential area, and the address is a home. This is for like the upstate New York cable news or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I go and Albany, Schenectady, Troy area, 24/7, all Albany, Schenectady,
And
Troy
they all
news
told
hour.
you no.
Well, a few of them told me come back. One of them wouldn't see me. That was in the Binghamton station. They wouldn't even see me. But a lot of these news
Fools.
directors just they say, come on in, come on in. And then the one in Albany, I knock on the door. And there I am in my suit and tie on somebody's
How old are
front
you?
freaking porch. I am 24 years old.
This is amazing.
And I knock on
Boom
the door.
goes the dynamite.
Knock on the door, and some woman answers the door. And I'm like,
Were you good? Oh, hold on. Do you know in your heart when you were knocking on that door? Did you know you were good
Yes,
at it?
absolutely.
Okay, that's great.
No question. Schenectady, Troy. Okay, I sent a tape. I sent a tape to him, and I just decided I'm going, and I went and I got the letter that I got back from them saying we have your tape, and I looked at the address and I just started going, and